on, everybody? We're here at the UG True North competition in Brampton. UG, in my opinion, is the biggest and best competition in Ontario right now. They're killing it right now. And I went to the beach wad. I was competing in the beach wad, and you guys did a hell of a job. Last year it was a little bit lagging. The whole you have to wait a couple hours for the competition.
Yeah.
And you guys fixed that right away within the next year, which is awesome. At the end of the day, you're on the beach, you're hanging out with friends, and you're just being worked out. So it's not a big deal. But you guys do a great job. I was very impressed with the organization. It was how many athletes do you guys have? A couple thousand?
We had about 1,100, I think, this year at Beachwad. So we've got in 4 years. I mean, year one was 124, and we went from that to 400 to 800 to 1,100. So, something good's happening there, and it's been exciting. It's obviously, like you said, we're on the beach, we're in the sun. It's great weather in July, and having a lot of fun out there. Sometimes you do get caught behind. Lack of judges sometimes, or volunteers can set us behind a little bit, but. And then there's always the athletes that need pee breaks right when they're about to start, and missing athletes and stuff. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have the reasons for that, though. Yeah,
that's cool, man. I mean, honestly, you guys do a great job with the vendors, people bringing in all that stuff, and I love it. I think you do have a Winterfest one.
We do. Yeah.
We do. Yeah.
Because I'm just way too much of a pussy to work out in the cold. How was that?
We get that. It's Winterfest was my first event that I ever did, and I did it through my box at the time. I was owner of a CrossFit gym called CrossFit Industry up in Collingwood. And
by the way, let me stop you right there. CrossFit Industry is one of the coolest shit I've ever seen. I went there. I had a weekend with my wife at the Scandinavian Spa and the bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And I just walked into Industry and I talked to Dylan, and I was like, hey man, I'm a gym owner. I'm just just want to work out a little bit. It was open gym. He let me come in and work out. Everyone's so friendly and so nice. I've been to plenty of gyms, and that gym is one of the nicest, most welcoming, also coolest. It's a pretty big ass gym.
Yeah.
Really cool gym I've ever been to. It's really
I appreciate that. I mean, certainly we live in a little bit of a tourist town up there in Collingwood, Blue Mountain area. So it's the gym's always been filled with people that are visitors and on holidays like yourself, you and your wife, and it's fantastic. I mean, I've always encouraged that. Right from the beginning, I wanted people coming in, fresh people coming in the gym, bring energy and a lot of fun, and always encouraged our members to be open arms and welcome people in there, and it's a good vibe.
Awesome. So, why did you guys start UG Series? So many gyms try to start a competition. I mean, I would never in a million years envision myself. I'm a gym owner myself, and I would never in a million years envision myself running a competition because it's such a pain in the ass. Why did you guys start?
To be honest with you, I come from an athletic background. I played hockey my whole life, and so I always had something to hold my training accountable, which was training camp. And I had fitness testing in training camp, and I made sure my 3-4 months of training leading up to training camp were pretty dialed in. And I found as a gym owner or a box owner, I needed something on the calendar for my members to train for. And at the time, this is going back in 2010, most CrossFit competitions were way too intimidating for everybody. They were the 1%ers, they were the real elite athletes, and to try and talk my members into going to Toronto and compete or something, they just weren't having it. So I said, you know what, man, we just need to do something fun. We need to put the fun back in competition, much like you'd get 10,000 people sign up to do a marathon, and there's only maybe 10 that have an opportunity to win it. But the rest of the people are there just to be part of that day and to kind of conquer their own successes. And I said, we got to do it outside the gym. That was our thing. We wanted to get out of the box and do something kind of more primal. And we construct a lot of our own, tools or methods of pain. We get logs and chains, and we get real creative with it. And I think that's why people dig it. They come up, and it's so different than what you would do in your regular box. And if you train well, you're going to be prepared for it.
I like the beach wad we had last year. You were there, right, George? You competed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I had a question for you. When you first
Sure.
started, you said 124 people came out. Was it always, did you have lots of divisions, or was it just one set workout for everybody?
You know, in the first year, we actually had more divisions, and we kind of cut it back for a couple of years, and then this year we actually grew another division. We had a full-on beginners on Sunday. You know, we've moved to a 3-day full weekend now instead of a 1-day event.
Yeah.
We just couldn't grow anymore on the Saturday, and so yeah, I mean, for us, it's all about the community and getting everybody in your gym to be able to come out and compete and be part of that weekend. This year, the beginner on Sunday was amazing. Super fun to watch those people. It made me realize and remember why we started it in the beginning. And, I just love people out there having fun and doing something a little bit different. Most important for me is gym owners or box owners that bring their community up there. They're building their community inside their own gym. So everybody has a ton of fun, and that was the main goal.
And I saw a lot of accomplishments that weekend that I was there. I mean, people were getting their first rope climbs or getting halfway up the rope, and they were on that rope the full time. They didn't give up, and they were coming down giving high fives because they got halfway up. So a lot of success. Where inside the box, you probably wouldn't see that. There'd be a lot of disappointment, or I can't do it. I'm not even going to get on the rope.
Yeah, and I've witnessed that in my gym. 2 or 3 years ago, I programmed rope climbs for one of the events, and a bunch of my members that had signed up for the event, they came in a panic the week of, and they said, "So what's our scale for rope climbs?" And I said, "There's no scale. Like, just climb a rope." And so they panicked. So they had like 4 days to learn how to climb a rope, and I've never seen them practice so much to get it.
I've had more members of my gym get a first muscle up. Because
absolutely
it's mandatory. You start with the muscle up, and for a week they train their ass.
It's a panic, right?
And I mean, George didn't get a muscle up. But
Max effort ring hold.
Actually, 2 people get a muscle up. I think the video was due on Friday at like 6 p.m. or something like that. They got their muscle up at 4 p.m. Friday evening.
Very cool.
They just jumped into the workout and did 2 rounds. Man, that is so cool. Like, they worked their asses off. They didn't believe in themselves. They didn't think they were going to do it. They just kept on working. And eventually they got it. And I think that's the beautiful thing about competition. I will never work as hard in the gym, even if I'm competing against my friend or whatever. I will never work that hard in the gym day to day as hard as I work in the competition. When it comes to competition time, something like kind of possesses you.
The beast.
Yeah, because everyone's watching.
Exactly. Like that last year, you guys had that 5K run.
We might bring it back next year, so keep training.
So we got there. You guys haven't been at UG. We got there, and we knew what the workouts were and stuff, and they're pretty fun. They're really cool. Obstacle course, and weightlifting and all that stuff, which I love. And then we got them. They're like, "Oh, by the way, you guys want give a 5K run on the sand?" And we're like, "What the hell?" and I had a wedding the night before, man.
Oh yeah.
I had a little bit to drink. So
too much scotch.
Yeah, the 5K hurt me a little bit.
You were the one guy that didn't sweat.
Well, you know what? Actually, my team came in like 3rd.
Did they really? Yeah.
Half of my team were like amazing runners. So they really supported us. We killed that workout.
You know what was really cool about that? We knew we were going to take some abuse. Let's face it, most CrossFitters don't run further than maybe 800 meters in a WOD. So, I mean, I knew that, to program a 5K run in at the beginning of the day, I'm going to take a lot of abuse to do that. But I think it's part of your training. If you want to be a well-rounded athlete, you should be able to blast out a 5K and not even worry about it. And the feedback that I got, throughout the day from some good athletes was that, hey, you know what, man, you just reminded me that I need to run more.
Yeah.
Because that just killed me out there.
No matter how much you complain, you have no excuses.
That's right.
If you're actually doing CrossFit, you should go toward a half marathon right now.
Totally, yeah.
Maybe not a full marathon. My wife actually signed up for a full marathon one time.
You could always walk.
A full marathon, and it was horrible. My joints were all gone. But so don't run a full marathon if you're not training for it. But at the halfway point, I felt good. And I didn't train at all. All I did was CrossFit.
If nothing else, it was a good warm-up for the rest of the day, right?
Well, you know what? That's one of the things, too, to think about, right? I'm sure a lot of people that write programs, after that, when they went back, they were programming in a lot more runs because it's like, shit, we forgot about running. You know, like it's not just a little sprint; it's an actual conditioning activity, right? So I'm sure programming changed after that as well.
Yeah, you know, I'm just such a fan of, you know, what motivates me is the original CrossFit Games in Aromas. I mean, that at the ranch is really what I love. And, you know, I just didn't want our event to be all about the barbell. And so the more we can do with some unique stuff, and then try to find, you know, to surprise people every now and then. That's my little Dave Castro move, was to throw in a 5K run. But, you know, I like to shake it up because as an athlete, I love that unpredictability, man. I would love, if I was competing, that I would absolutely love that, just to show up and not know what I'm doing and just test yourself. Because somebody's got to make sure there's toilet paper in the bathroom and the 150 other thing. Yeah.
So Jen, you're a partner in UG as well, and what is your role with UG? What do you do?
I am the creator of Buzz. Buzz. Yeah.
So I mean, how important is it to have a team? Because I know doing the podcast, I started on my own, and it was horrible. Like working alone, it just sucked. And having at least one or two other people with you is a really big deal. How important is it to have and work with a team?
Oh, we couldn't do it if it wasn't a team. And our team, the three of us, is bigger than that. I mean, Scott's wife Joelle, my husband Scott, they're constantly there. Volunteers, we constantly have, and our volunteers, we have a lot of the same volunteers. Tracy does our scoring. She's been with us at every event. So our team's much bigger than the three of us, but no, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it without our team or the support system of the volunteers and judges that come out.
So do you guys have different strengths in terms of like your partners, like your Scott and yourself? Do you guys have different strengths that you kind of feed off of? Or?
Like, what do you bring to the table? You know what I mean? Like, everyone brings something different, or is there
Well, Jen's if I could speak for her, because she's fairly humble, but or shy maybe, but Jen's you know, she's the one that does all of our social media posts. She's our creative one that designs all of our mail outs and, you know, campaigns and things like that. You know, has a lot of great ideas with the administrative work and behind the scenes. I'm still struggling to program my iPhone, so it's definitely stuff that I can't do myself. So, you know, she does. What's that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I do have a 16-year-old daughter that I always ask, you know, how do I do this? But anyways, Jen is, you know, fantastic at doing stuff like that and spends countless hours on her computer, you know, designing all of our social media stuff.
Women's Strong is also kind of my baby.
Yeah.
What's that, sorry?
Our Women's Strong event is also kind of my baby.
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah.
Are you guys doing it again this year?
It's not going to be this year, but it will do it again in 2016.
I mean, 2016, like in the spring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking towards, we've got to play around with the coaches' schedules. So it's typically after the games so that the four coaches can be involved. But we'll see.
What turnout are you expecting to have?
When we did it last year, we had 40 women. So the idea is to have kind of an intimate weekend where you actually have one-on-one with the coaches. We'll expand a little bit, but it'll never be massive because we still want that intimate one-on-one time.
Technical difficulties. Cool, man. So we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back right after this. All right, welcome back. We're here with Scott and Jen from UG Series, and we're talking about why UG started, getting people involved in competition that were just a little bit too intimidated by CrossFit, which is crazy because we all know that if you're a really high-level athlete or a low-level athlete, you come to CrossFit at the same level. I played college basketball and I came to CrossFit and I was extremely humbled. I was a personal trainer. I grew up weightlifting, doing all this stuff. I got into CrossFit. I was still very, very humbled. You know.
Yeah,
so,
I think the only thing that you have reference for is the CrossFit Games, right? So you know, somebody comes into the gym and you know they just conquered their first set of pull-ups, so they're finally, you know, doing an RX workout. But you know, they're looking at Camille and Froning and people like that training, so they're very intimidated with that. And I think people think that's what competition is. And until they, you know, get out there and actually try it, and they, you know, I encourage people just to come and watch first if you want, and inevitably 100% of the people that come and watch say, listen, I'm signing up next year because I missed out on a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you know what? Their competitions is like, it's crazy. I think, was it 2 years ago, we tried to set up a team for last year, we tried to set up a team for this exact competition. And within like an hour, it was sold out. Yeah. So by the time I got my visa out, like it was gone. So if you're not on their mailing list, if you're not following UG on social media and you want to compete, you got to get your shit together because they sell out real quick, like really, really quick, which is unbelievable. Like I couldn't believe how fast you guys are selling out.
2 years ago, we had 800 spots open for the Saturday, and we sold that out in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And we had almost 400 people on a wait list the day after.
Yeah.
So, it does sell out quickly. Obviously, we're on to something good. Again, this past year, that's why we moved to a 3-day event.
Okay.
To try and spread that out and keep everybody happy, and this year we'll do the same thing again. We'll have 2 divisions on Saturday, 2 divisions on Sunday, and hopefully we can accommodate everybody. So
now I have a question for you. This is your opportunity to be proud and celebrate your successes. But since you started, have you noticed? I mean, I've noticed. I'm setting you up to take some credit. A lot of individual competition or local competitions happening. So. Do you notice that those athletes or the people that compete there are now coming to the bigger events? Like, do you think that you're a groundbreaker or a pioneer to start local events?
Well, I think definitely taking the event outside was, I believe, and I'm sure somebody's going to say, no, I already did that, but as far as I know, like we were the only ones that really kind of think, let's just get outside the box and do something. So and now I think you're starting to see more and more events outside, and I don't mean just in our area, but social media, Facebook, YouTube. I'm watching other events that are on beaches, and which is fantastic, man. I mean, fitness is supposed to be fun. It's and that's the whole thing. Is it is meant to be a fun day, competitive. Yes, you push yourself, of course. I want everybody to be gutted at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, I want everybody to have a beer or a scotch. And sit back and reflect on their day. Live life.
I love this summer when you guys did the main event, and you guys had like the athletes. We did our event, and then we finished. We had about a half an hour break, and then Sleeman was the sponsor.
Yeah.
Right, and we had that coconut beer. it was actually pretty good.
You're practically getting healthy as you drink the beer. It's fantastic.
Exactly. It's a win-win. So we were having tall boys, and we're watching elite regional level athletes just crushing it with the sun coming down on the beach, the water in the background. Man, you can't pay enough for that shit. Like it was priceless. It was awesome.
It was
the
cool.
coolest we were experience ever.
Thank you for that. I mean, Paul and I were sitting around trying to think about, how do we do the championship workouts for the RX athletes, and I was kind of looking out at the area where we're going to program this in, and I said, well, why don't we just throw 6 platforms out in the beer garden, and then we'll do it in there, and then all the other divisions can then come on in. Their day's done already. Come on in and have a pint and cheer these guys on, and it created a really cool vibe, man. It was good. There was 300-400 people just kind of wrapped around in the beer garden.
When 300-400 people have a pint or 2 or 3, they cheer a little louder.
They start getting loud. Now it's like European soccer. It's
exactly.
Awesome.
That was great, man. So what are plans for UG? What are the future? What's the future look like for you guys?
Well, I think continue to sort of grow the experience for the athlete in Beachwad and our Winterfest, no question. And by that I mean continue to grow our vendor village. We this year our vendor village, we had a lot of sponsors and partners. Some of them are here today, which to me that enhances your day for not only the athlete but also your spectators and friends that are around. Make some more interaction in our vendor village, make it a lot more fun. Continue to grow. I would love to see people outside the CrossFit community starting to come to these competitions, and your global gym people, and there's fit people at the YMCA that I'd love to see those guys start thinking about competition with our community and with our crowd, and hopefully that entices them to join a CrossFit gym in their community somewhere. So we're continue to reach out to groups outside our community. Jen's Women's Strong event. We took the season off because we were trying to grow this event here.
Yeah.
But next year in 2016 we'll get back to that. It was a fantastic event and very well received by all the women that were involved. So we'll continue to kind of push that one a little bit more as well.
That's so cool, man. Because we say this almost every podcast. I know if you're listening out there, you're gonna hate us and we're repetitive and we're assholes, but George and I have daughters, okay? He has 2 daughters. I have another one on the way. I also have a son. He's an asshole. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's 2 years old. It's okay.
He's 2. Oh,
you know,
nice.
in a couple of years, he's gonna be an awesome dude. But we always talk.
He's not there yet.
Not there yet. No, he's working on it, man. I change shit every morning. So what we're really passionate about empowering women, and we've been actually we were in Cincinnati for a Bengals game. We went to a bar after, and we saw some girls and we're like, what? I'm not. No, I'm not gonna go into details. But we saw some girls and I'm like, man, I never want my daughter to do that or be that girl, or you know, like never. Like we are so passionate about empowering women to be confident in themselves, like love themselves, respect themselves, and just be like powerful human beings. And that is such a cool thing that you guys are doing, the Women's Strong. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? What are you guys looking to do
Say
with that?
Without crying every time I'm put on the spotlight.
George will give you a hug if you need a hug.
It kind of started. It was a conversation we had one day driving, but I have 2 daughters, and they both started CrossFit shortly after I did. They're 9 and she's 12 and 9. Okay. They're 12 and 9 now. So Emma was 9 when she started CrossFit and Hannah was 6. And we went to regionals in 2012, and Chris Cooper let Emma, my oldest at the time, interview Michelle Latondra for the Games website.
Oh, cool.
And she was kind of shy, and I don't want to do it. And I kind of said, well, you should. I'm not going to force you, but think about it. So Chris left, came back, and she ended up doing it. And we kept in touch with Michelle ever since. My kids loved Michelle. We went to the Games. Michelle blew them kisses. And so it kind of started from that, and then what CrossFit did for her confidence after that was her teachers would comment and say, like, now she's speaking up and she wants to talk, do speeches and things, and not being shy. I get flack for it.
My daughter's in SK, and she teaches her class to do burpees and stuff. Yeah. So her teacher's like, is that you? You teach her to do that?
And they say, Mom, they don't squat right.
Yeah, that's right.
I have to tell them that's not right. That's not
right,
get lower.
Oh man.
But it just kind of started a snowball effect of, and for myself, I much prefer to be behind the lens, not in front. But I had a conversation with Michelle about how she had hired someone to help her with box jumps and things like that early on, and I realized that they're the same people that we are, and as unconfident as we are with some moves in the box, so were they. So let's create a weekend around that and actually bring them in, and they can sit down. And it was more about seeing the women at the dinners and things like that, sitting with Sam Briggs and Jenny LeBas, Katie Hogan, Michelle, and just interacting, playing soccer on the beach. Like, not everybody gets a chance to do that. Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
That's so powerful, because I think that a lot of you guys out there think that, you know, you hang out with Rich Froning and go hunting with Rich Froning or whatever, or you hang out with Christmas Abbott, whatever, and you're like intimidated by these people. They're just people, man. They have as much anxiety and insecurities as you do. There is nothing special about them. The only thing that's special about them is that they kick ass. Yeah. Like, they're consistent and they are strong. I mean, you know, the more successful you get, and I'm sure you guys know this with UG and your own personal lives, is the more successful you get, the more you question yourself. You're like, am I good enough? Do I deserve to be in this role? You know what I mean? And I've struggled with that personally, and I've talked to some very successful people, and they've told me, like, hey, Sil, this is very, very normal. They're like, the better my business does, the more successful I get, the greater the burden is, because you're never good enough. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're not good enough. But at the end of the day, you're kicking ass, and this is who you are, and that's what you gotta do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like, you know, I keep referring back to the thing that it's just exercise. You know, that's all it is. And Rich Froning is the fastest exerciser in the world, right? And
exercise racer.
I'm not. I mean, it's definitely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not athletic. It's not a sport. It is a sport, no question. But I think most people come in and just, you know, they put it on such a pedestal, and it all starts with your first burpee. It all starts with your first double under, your first pull up, and there's no shortcuts, man. You just got to get in and do the work, and it takes time. You can't do it in a year. You can't do it in 6 months.
Nope.
This is a lifelong thing, and 3, 4, 5 years from now, you're just going to be a way better person for having done it.
That's right.
Too, is being vulnerable isn't a sign of weakness, right? Being vulnerable and transparent about that vulnerability allows you to get help, right? You know, I'm not good at box jumps. Someone's going to say, okay, this is what we do.
Wait, you're not bad at box jumps. You're not good at double unders.
2.5 years later. But everyone in the box knows that, and I've had members say, hey George, you know what, you want to stick around after class, we can do them together, or let's set a challenge. So, you know, I used to look at that as weakness, like, how shitty am I that I'm a coach and I can't do double unders? And they're like, listen, there's lots of things that we can, but you know, that's the community that's there, and being able to say I can't do something only allows you to get help. Do you know what I mean? I think
100%,
we gotta stop that mindset of vulnerability is weakness. It's not. Vulnerability actually is strength, because you're willing to say, I need your help, or I'm not good at this. You know, how do we get there?
Yeah, the beauty, I mean, the details are what you have to work on. And for me, I mean, I played professional hockey for 18 years, and my last year I was still working on tiny little details and things that nobody in the stands would ever see, but you're working on stick angles and the way you turn your blade to take a puck off the boards, like tiny little things that make you a better player. And you know, that's what kept me around for 18 years, is I never stopped learning and never stopped working and practicing. It's the same for CrossFit. I mean, if the day that you kind of turn it off for input and energy from other people is the day you're going to start to plateau and lose your growth.
Yeah, I've worked with coach, shout out to Coach Yuki from CrossFit Markham. This dude came from Bulgaria, 10-year Bulgarian national weightlifter in the 70s. Amazing coach, came to escape communism. You know, coaches part-time as a hobby right now. Incredible coach, coach with Pocket Hercules, you know, one of the greatest weightlifters of all time. And this guy is the most humble man ever. And he came into CrossFit, he saw these CrossFitters weightlifting, and he's like,
what's
he didn't
going
say
on?
That's messed up. He said, okay, well, here's 3 things you can do to fix your lift, right? And he's constantly learning. He's like, okay, this is what weightlifting is, this is what CrossFit is. Let's kind of mesh the two together. Let's kind of like touch and go reps. Let's learn how to touch and go. And this guy is one of the greatest weightlifting coaches I've ever met in my life. And he is still, you know, he's almost 60 years old, and he's still, I hope I didn't get that wrong, but he's still lifting himself, and he's still learning and adapting, right? Which is so cool, man.
You know, I always reflect, and it was kind of a funny quote from a buddy of mine in high school, but he was like the best guitar player in high school, right? This guy would play all the house parties and, you know, all the, you know, shows at the school, and this guy was like really, really good, and we all idolized him. And I remember talking to him one day and about being good, and all he said to me was, he goes, I'm good enough to know that I'm not very good. And that quote was like brilliant. I was like, man, like you know, he looks at Stevie Ray Vaughan or these other guys, and I think, you know, lifting, you could be the best lifter in your gym, but you understand that there's Bulgarian coaches out there that would kick my ass if they saw me. So you never really kind of put yourself out there, right?
Yeah.
So there's always room for growth.
Cool, man. So let's wrap this up. Great conversation with you guys. Any shout out to what, you know, how people can connect with you, or your sponsors, people who come and partner with you guys? Who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, we are, like, you want our details?
So I see Reebok over here.
Yeah, Reebok is our presenting sponsor.
Yeah.
Again, Faster does our equipment.
Awesome.
Muscle Milk has been with us for 3 years now. They take care of our recovery area and things like that. So at Beachwood, all the ice baths that everyone's
Actually, the guy from Muscle
day.
Milk, I play pickup football with him.
Oh yeah.
And I saw him at Eugene. I was like, holy shit, you're actually here. Like he's the main guy. So
Kevin,
yeah,
he loves
Kevin,
it. Yeah.
really good guy.
Yeah.
Super great athlete.
We've also got Gorilla Fitness and Caffeine and Kilos.
Yes.
RPM Fitness, Compex.
Yes, Compex.
I feel like I'm missing one.
And Sleeman Beer.
Sleeman was
Sleeman,
Wasaga.
yeah.
Wasaga, yes. At Wasaga.
Sleeman left.
Cool, man. Awesome. So thank you so much for being on the podcast. Check out UG Series on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. What's that?
Website.
The website, UG Series website. Do you guys Periscope at all?
We don't, but
You should get your shit together and start periscoping right now. You know what I mean?
Get your shit together. I don't even know what that is. But get it going.
So Periscope is an app where it's live broadcasting. People can join your live broadcasting, comment, share hearts, and like see it happen live.
Nice.
On a phone. It's freaking crazy.
Right.
Anyway, Periscope, that one event with the elite athletes on the beach, that would have been like the coolest Periscope moment ever. Yeah. So just get a phone and Periscope this bad boy right now. I'm actually going to Periscope it right now for Saturday and Scotch. And people can, you can ask them for feedback, you can ask them for anything. And they'll comment. It's,
awesome.
It's a really cool app. So, yeah.
You're
going to have to teach me.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right.
Well, thanks, guys. Peace out.
Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers.